Now, what other properties do we have? We have the ability to specify whether it's a multiple selection. We can also specify various styles. But you'll notice we can't actually specify what the items are for the select box. In order to do that, we have to, unfortunately, dip back into the source view, and we have to manually add the options by typing HTML markup at this point. So I'm going to do some typing here. Let's just move the mouse out of the way. Let me change the first option to be please select dash dash dash. And then we'll add some more options to represent various different countries. So here we go. Option. And we'll go for some countries in alphabetical order. So the first country will be Albania. And then we'll add another option to represent the next country. And that will be Armenia. And this could take some time. Then the next option is going to be Argentina. And then, just to save a bit of effort, we'll have one more option, and that will be Zaire. Okay, so we just skipped a few in the middle. Let's just flip back to design mode and see how that looks. Okay, so clearly things are looking better now. We have some items in there. But it was a little bit of a nuisance having to dip back into the source view to do it manually. Right, next up, on the next set of cells, we're going to enable the user to specify whether they can use Visual C#, Visual Basic, or Visual J# as their programming languages. So, first of all, in this cell, I'm going to type some static text, languages. Now, we'll use a checkbox control for each language that the user might be able to program in. So that's the first one. And let's add another one. And let's add one more. There we are. So we have 3 checkboxes. Let's just look at the properties. Well, the IDs are checkbox 1, checkbox 2, and checkbox 3. So let's just change that. So let's change the first checkbox to be VB checkbox. Okay. Now, you'll notice there's no way, unfortunately, of being able to specify what the actual text is that we want to associate with that checkbox. So we're going to have to dip back into source view to add that text in a moment. So before we get there, let's just set the ID for each of the other checkboxes. So that's the second checkbox, and I'll set its ID to be VC checkbox. And then finally, we'll select the third checkbox, and we'll set its ID to be VJ checkbox, as in Visual J#. Okay, done. Now let's go back to source view, and in the source view, let's put some text for each checkbox. So if you can find the input control for the VB checkbox, okay, and then after that control, we'll type some static text, Visual Basic. There we go. And also, I want each control to appear on a separate line, so I'm going to put a line break in. Right, now let's put in some text for the next checkbox. So that's going to be Visual C#, and we'll have a line break there as well. And then finally, for the last checkbox, we'll have some text. We'll have Visual J#. Okay, let's just check how that appears in the designer. Very good, that's looking much better. One thing I do want to change, if you'll notice the age and the language text, I want that text to appear vertically aligned in this table row. So to do that, there's a v-align property we need to set on the table row. We can use the breadcrumbs at the bottom to select the table row. If I click the option Select Tag, so that selects the TR tag, and now I can go to the properties in the property window, and if I scroll down, I should find there's a v-align property. There it is. And I can set the v-align property to be top. Okay, so that aligns the controls vertically at the top of that table row, which is what I wanted to achieve. Okay, right, what's next? Now, in the next table row, currently we have 5 columns in the table row, and what I want to do is display a label which spans the entire row. So the easiest way to do that, if I select the TR element, and then right-click on that table row, and merge cells. Okay, so that's effectively merged the 5 columns into a single cell so that I can put a large text box label into that area. Now then, if we go to the toolbox and look for the label command, well, you'll find there isn't one. We have to add the label command manually in the source view. So yet again, we need to go back to the source page, find the table column that we just set up, and in here, I'm going to create a label command. So the label command is going to look like this. It's going to be a label command, and let's set the ID to be something meaningful. So ID equals result label, and let's display some fixed text. Result will be displayed here. Okay, and we'll switch back to design view, and there's our control.